And one of the things that is lacking in our homes, in our communities, in our countries is that transparency and truthfulness that Islam came to lead us towards Allah through. I welcome you to take this journey with me in discovering more about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will grow in our love, our fear of Allah, and our eternal hope in His mercy subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us begin this journey of me, myself, and Allah. And truthfulness is one of the essential descriptions of a believer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to be truthful, to be with those who are truthful, to be truthful in word, in action, but to begin our truthfulness in our heart. Most of us, our dishonesty actually begins within ourselves. And it's that hypocritical sense where we feel that there is this cognitive dissonance, that I know what's in my heart is different to what my actions are being performed. And sometimes it's something that we have to be extra vigilant about in our relationship with Allah. Allahu la yaqbalu illa ma kana bisidqin wa ikhlasin lahu subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will not accept anything in acts of devotion, in acts of belief, in acts of worship, in acts of remembrance towards Him that wasn't truthful towards Him, wasn't with sincerity, which is the next level of proof of faith. Truthfulness is an act of the heart, an act of the tongue, and a movement of the body that demonstrates a reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Truthfulness is not just that I'm honest in my day-to-day living, but that becomes the cumulation of the truthfulness that is found in my heart. That when you look into your life, that you are the sole judge before the judgment is to Allah. That you are from those who وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ Surah Al-Hajj. Those who look towards the next day. You are a person who has made muhasaba, accounting and accountability for yourself, so that you know where you stand between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you have taken charge in your relationship with Allah to make Allah central, and that your truthfulness is something that you seek, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides for you a greater truthfulness in your capacity to lead others through what they see demonstrated in your behavior. And the greatest command that the Prophet ﷺ had upon the people who believed in him was he was as-sadiq al-amin, the truthful one who then could be trusted. Why did people ﷺ accept Muhammad ﷺ? Because his nature was one of truthfulness. He was sadiq. He was sadiq in his intent, sadiq in his words, sadiq in his promises, sadiq in his convictions, sadiq in everything that he displayed. He was a person of measured truth, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And therefore what he spoke to you was something that you can then translate into being a trustworthy action and statement. One of the things that is lacking in our homes, in our communities, in our countries is that transparency and truthfulness that Islam came to lead us towards Allah through. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in many places in the Quran commands us to be from those قَوَّامِينَ لِلَّهِ شُهَدَاءَ بِالْقِسْطِ, to stand up in a measured, truthful way for that which is just in accordance to the measures and the dictates of our faith and tradition. That standing up for truth, even if it puts ourselves in harm's way, was one of the greatest representations of our belief and as a sign of our faithfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we would rather hold on to the truth even though that we may be estranged from a greater population. It is difficult to be truthful today and say to somebody who are majority in their practice that I don't believe that that is acceptable, that I don't believe that that is correct, and I don't believe in that ideal, that I have lana lakum dinukum waliyadin. You have your way of life and doing the things that you like, but I also have my right to establish my existence with Allah in the way that I seek, even if it's in my own privacy, even if it's in my own closet, that I'm going to be faithful to Allah. And another word for faithfulness is truthfulness in this context. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes truthfulness one of the ways that we establish our proof of faith with Him. Allahumma ameen.